back in 1918. Well, now in its 94th year, the Agricultural Outlook Forum is the USDA's largest annual meeting, attracting as many as 2,000 attendees each year from the U.S. and around the world. The event is underway now in Washington, and RFD-TV Sarah Mock joins us live for the latest. Hello, Sarah.
Well, thanks again, Janet. We're back here outside of Washington at the Ag Outlook Forum talking to folks about what they're hearing, both from speakers from the USDA and, of course, just talking with folks in the hall. We're lucky enough to be joined by John Newton. He's the Director of Market Intel at the American Farm Bureau. John, what are the big takeaways you're hearing from this week's session?
I think one of the biggest takeaways, and we saw this from the USDA's Economic Research Service, is just that net farm income in 2018 is projected to be at 12-year lows. And it means that it's likely going to be another tough year for farmers and ranchers in 2018 with crop prices for a lot of commodities and livestock, especially milk and corn, expected to be lower than where they were in recent years. So another challenging year ahead for agriculture.
Absolutely. Now, did you hear anything over the last 2 days that's given you any hope, that's things that farmers can look forward to in 2018?
Well, we did see some bright spots. I think we think about what Congress did in recent weeks with a bipartisan budget agreement to get cotton back in the safety net. We then see at this conference the projections for cotton acreage going into 2018 are up about 5%. Cotton's really been the rock star the last 2 years in the farm economy, given that we've seen the export pace of cotton really be above prior year levels. So the rebounding in the cotton economy is only further supported by the enhancements in the Farm Bill.
Sure. Now let's talk a little bit about planting. Prospective planting is going to be our next big report out of USDA. Do you think farmers are going to be able to use the information they heard here today to make some decisions about planting?
Well, I think one of the longer term things that we saw USDA said yesterday is that essentially for the next decade it's going to be king soybeans. USDA is projecting soybean acres to top corn acres beginning in 2019 all the way out for the next 10 years. This next year the projections are for corn and soybean acres to be fairly close to each other at about 90 million acres. It remains to be seen what farmers ultimately do going into the spring. I think one of the other things to keep track of is trade, and we did see China announce some anti-dumping duty on sorghum and potentially on soybeans, and that could also impact the planting decisions, and that wasn't included in the USDA's report that we saw today.
Now, of course, there's the official agenda at the Ag Outlook Forum, but there's also just what folks are talking about, what's getting people excited and interested. What are you hearing just in the halls here?
Well, I had the opportunity yesterday to join the chief economist's office for lunch, and the conversation there really focused around things like NAFTA and the Farm Bill. There's a lot of angst, obviously, in agriculture about a potential NAFTA withdrawal and what that would look like. There's also a lot of conversations about the upcoming Farm Bill. Some of the other things that we're hearing a lot about is overregulation, labor. There are a lot of different things that are being talked about in the hallways here at the Ag Outlook Forum.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. That's John Newton, the Director of Market Intel at the American Farm Bureau. We'll have more updates for you in just a bit. Till then, back to you in the studio.
Well, of course, you can see highlights from the USDA's 2018 Ag Outlook Forum right after our broadcast here at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hear what the country's top ag experts are saying about agricultural challenges and opportunities. That's today at 2 p.m. Eastern on RFD-TV, immediately following the Market Day report.